Okay, Black Roses. So tell me, I'm not the only one who does this. I was sitting at my table making freebies for the upcoming The Rose concert, surrounded by beads and more beads, string, and what can only be described as arts and crafts chaos, when a random thought popped into my head. So where did this freebie culture even come from? Seriously, who was the first fan that looked at another fan and thought, hey, you know what? Let me give this complete stranger a bracelet. And because my brain refused to let random questions go, I did what a normal person would do, right? I turned it into a full Maknae Rave. So today we're talking about fandom, history, concert freebies, and the connection they create, and how one little Woosung luggage tag from years ago somehow led to me sitting here making my own freebies for Rosetopia. Because sometimes the smaller things end up leaving the biggest impact. So grab your emotional support beverage, your light stick, and maybe your crafting supplies if you're currently panic making freebies like I am. And let's get into today's Maknae Rave. Okay, Black Roses. So where did this whole freebie culture come from? Seriously, have you ever thought about it? Because if you're new to K-pop, you might think freebies started because of Instagram, TikTok, social media, or whatever app is currently stealing all of our time. This tradition goes way back before any of that. Back in the early days of K-pop fandom, fans didn't have group chats or a Discord server, fan accounts or hashtags. If you wanted to find other fans, you actually had to show up. You had to show up at concerts, music shows, or fan meetings, and people would hand out little gifts, like banners, postcards, candies, slogan towels, and anything they could make. So it wasn't about likes, and it wasn't about going viral. It was about finding your people. And honestly, that's still what it's about today. But the banners and postcards turned into photo cards, bracelets, stickers, keychains, and all the amazing things fans create now. But the heart behind it hasn't really changed. As I was making my freebies, I started thinking about the very first one I ever received. It was a Woosung luggage tag. A black rose named Shelley gave it to me at Woosung's Before We Die concert in San Antonio in 2024. At the time, it seemed like such a small thing, but years later I still remember it. I had no idea that one day I'd be sitting here making my own freebies for future concerts. And the funny thing, I will probably see Shelley again in LA for Rosetopia. So if she ever hears this, thank you. Because that one little act of kindness stuck with me and probably inspired me more than she ever realized. Now, one of my favorite parts of concerts isn't actually making the freebies. It's giving them away. Because people's reactions are priceless. Some immediately light up with the biggest smile, and some run over to show their friends what they got. And then there are people who look at me like I'm trying to sell them something. You know the look? They're like, okay, so what's the catch? And I have to laugh and tell them, nothing, it's free. Watching that suspicious look turn into a smile never gets old. I also notice that some fans only want to trade instead of simply accepting a freebie. And honestly, I think that's beautiful too. Some people want to give something back. Others spend hours making their own freebies and see trading as a way of appreciating another fan's creativity and effort. But whether you're trading or giving, the reason behind it is still the same. It's the connection. A bracelet becomes a conversation. A photo card becomes an introduction. A tiny gift becomes a memory. I really saw the impact of that at Happy Fest in Houston, when I was handing out freebies during the Rose documentary screening. My husband came with me, and it was one of the first times he got to watch the whole thing happen from the outside. Later he told me that seeing people's faces when they received my freebie was priceless. The surprise, the excitement, and the happiness. And he's right, because the freebie isn't really the gift, the connection is. So for a few seconds, two strangers share a moment. A conversation can start, and a friendship can begin. Someone who came alone suddenly feels like they're part of something bigger. And honestly, I think that's something the Rose would appreciate. A fandom built on comfort, healing, belonging, and community, continuing a tradition that's always been about bringing people together. So the next time someone hands you a bracelet, a photo card, a sticker, or a little Rosetopia keepsake, remember, you're holding more than a freebie. You're holding a little piece of fandom history. And maybe, just maybe, you're holding the beginning of a friendship that lasts long after the concert is over. And speaking of freebies, if you go into the Rosetopia tour, keep an eye out for me. I'll be handing out freebies in Grand Prairie, Texas and Los Angeles, California. And I'd love to meet as many Black Roses as possible. So don't be shy. Come say hi, tell me your bias, show me your freebies, and let's make some memories together. And thank you for listening to my Maknae Rave. Until next time, we go as one, we rose together, and as always, I rose you. Chrissie the Maknae out.